So we are discussing JaivaDharma. Again, discussion between Vijay Kumar Vijayanath and Raghunath Das Babaji continues. Now it enters into more deeper into Rasa Tattva. Yesterday, as Prabhuji mentioned, we discussed lesson 36, part of the 36, 37 we discussed, chapter 29 and 30. The portion which we discussed yesterday from, again, to start back again, when a Sthayi Bhava in a different primary modes, Shantarasa, Sakyarasa, Dasharasa, Vatsalya, and Madhurya, when they mix with the 4 components of Samakri, how they produces basically Vibhavas, Anubhavas, Sattvic Bhavas, and Sanchari Bhavas. This is what is discussion. Really, it's a critical, and Prabhuji gave nice presentation as well as discussion on that with the examples. Many things we learned through this one. Before I get into the little more, it was little surprising to see that how Dasha Rasa is closer to Madhurya Rasa than Vatsalya also. In some context, we saw that. Now we will go through a Dasha Rasa. One part is that is left out, but rest of things is done. And okay, okay, so that part was coming spillover from the previous one. 2 types of Dasha Rasa, Dasha Bhakti Rasa. Out of that one, that's Gaurav Priti, was not completed day for yesterday. So yesterday, like Prabhuji explained to us that portion. And then we'll continue with Dasha Rasa, Sakya Rasa, Vatsalya Rasa, introduction to Madhurya Rasa. That's what we are doing. So the part which was again done yesterday was from Dasha Rasa, 2 types of Dasha. Particularly, it's a Gaurav Priti. There are 2 types of Dasha Rasa. One is the Sambram Priti. There's a respectful affection. Another is a Gaurav Priti, love mixed with a pride. And Prabhuji explained that this pride is not what we understand. This is the spiritual. In this, the mood of devotees, Krishna should take care of nourishing and maintaining me. And the reason being, the Gaurava refers to relation with the Krishna based on the conception that Krishna is both father and guru. So again, this is the feeling of the devotee, and with that, these 2 things are coming. Now, so that was discussed. Let's go again little more into that. 2 kinds of such a devotees are there, like Gaurav. One type of devotee is proud to be younger associate of Krishna, and the devotee is proud to be Krishna's sons. So these are examples given. So today we'll start with basically with the Dasha Rasa. Okay, so different kinds of friends of Krishna and their qualities and features given in question 259 to 260. Their forms, qualities, and garments are like those of Krishna's servant. However, unlike the servant, his intimate friends do not feel on veneration towards Krishna. Again, we see here differentiation. All these rasas, Sthayi Bhav, in a different primary rasas mixed with those 4 components. There again too, how they different in Dwarka and in a Vraja. So again, we see the differentiation. So for Dasha, we are just we are saying Sakya. Dasha, we completed Sakya. We are saying that Dwarka and Vrija. In a Dwarka, Arjuna the best. And in a Vrija, there are 4 kinds of Sakyas. One is Surad, that well-wisher of Krishna, like Subhadra, and there's a Mandali Badra is the best. So this is the one type. The second type is basically Sakhas, friends of Krishna. They are younger than Krishna, always attached to him, and who give all kinds of service to the Lord. Then third is a Priya Sakha. Gradually it is going up by gradation. that these are more of Priya Sakha, these are confidential Sakhas, almost same age of Krishna, Sridharma, Sudama, those are there. Still, the fourth is still higher, that is a Priya Narma Yasya, intimate friends of Lord Krishna, and Subala is a prime example into that. Now, let's go ahead with more details into that. Yeah. Okay. So, friends of Krishna, and we friends of we just discussed. So, question 267 and 269 talks of Vishramba, means firm confidence that one is equal to his friends. Again, definition of Sakya. The stage of Sakya Rasa are Prema, Sneha, Raga, and Pranaya. In a Pranaya, awe and venerations are completely absent, even in situation where they might be appropriate. Now, like other format, Prabhuji explained so nicely. Let's go with the Sthayi Bhava. So formal dealings between Krishna and his friends on equal level. That is a Vishramba. Such aesthetic love in friendship is called Sthayi. So again, Sthayi Bhava is stabilized with in this case as a Sakhya. Now that when it mixes with Vibhava, there are two types of Vibhava, with Alambana and Dipna. So Vilambana, in this case, Krishna holding the flute in his two hands, is Vishaya. And then again, we have Vibhava with Dipna, Ashraya, stimuli. In this case, Krishna's age, beauty, bugle flute, conch shell, nice picture Prabhuji has shown us. Shell, pleasing attitude, exceptional joking skills, and playful activities of Lord. And so these are Uddipnas. Krishna's friends are his Ashrayas in this case. Now that takes us to Anubhavas. Next stage, when it's mixed with the Sakhya. Krishna played with his intimate friends, sometimes by wrestling games, and Prabhuji explained sometimes Krishna used to lose and carry on their shoulders, and those things are there. So Anubhava's visible symptoms. So these are some of the symptoms we saw. Then let's go to the next bhavas is Satya. It's a Sattvic bhavas. In the Sattvic bhavas, aesthetic visible symptoms, they are like those for Dasya and Sakhya only, but they are little higher on level. Then Sanchari bhava, they are also similar like a Dasya bhava. So that is how the Dasha is explained. So different kinds of friends, their qualities, just we mentioned Sakhya in this case. Now we'll go to next. That is okay, I'll go to the next, which is the Vatsalya. We don't see a lot of thing on Vatsalya, but it's similar to Dasha, but as Prabhuji explained, Dasha is close to Madhurya. In this case, Krishna's body is dark and handsome. He has all virtues. He is a gentle, pleasing speaker, honest, sincere, shy, humble, respectful, and generous. The kings and queens, who are the people? Kings and queens of Braja, Nanda, and Yashoda. His parents are the best. So details are given. Now, in the Vatsalya, we are primarily talking about again Sthayi Bhava. Details are mercy and love that is free from awe and veneration. So there is no awe and reverence to the Lord because they are protecting the Krishna. Krishna is their child. The parental love felt by Yashoda is naturally very strong. It proceeds with the prema to sneha and raga. So what is here, Vibhavas? Baby Krishna is Vishaya in this case. Now, the next Vishaya in Uddipna, Krishna's elderly relatives and superiors are Ashraya, his Ashraya. So Krishna's Kaumarya and other ages, his form, garment, childhood, restlessness, talking jokingly, joking, pastimes, all provide Uddipnas in this case. Now, Anubhavas. Anubhavas, smiling Krishna's head massaging, his limbs, offering blessing to him, giving orders to him, kissing and hugging him, and calling his name are also included among these vibhavas. Then let's go to the Sattvic Bhava. What we see here, Sattvic Bhava. Sattvic Bhavas, that visible aesthetic symptoms, the milk flowing from the breast, and the 8 symptoms of Sattvic Bhavas begin with becoming stern. Then Sanchari Bhavas, they are like those of Dasya. Now, let's move to Madhurya. Now, this is just introduction to the Madhurya, not details. I think today we'll be covering more details. Sometimes Madhurya Rasa is the most important of the Bhakti Rasa. It is not easy someone qualified to understand, as it is a very confidential. Being a follower of Subala, among the Priya Narma Sakhas of Krishna who are aware of the activities of Madhurya Rasa. So again, Sthayi Bhav, here is a Madhurya, the appropriate Vibhavas act to increase the love. No Vijatiya or Sajatiya Bhavas can impede the love between. So Vijatiyas, Sajatiyas in the similar, conflicting Bhavas. And Vijatiya is different, but again, reconciling with that. That's the understanding. Now, let's see the Vibhavas here. Krishna is the Vishaya in Alamna, and Vibhava Uddipna Ashraya is Burja Gopis headed by Radharani as the Ashraya. So Krishna's flute playing is the base that provide Uddipnas. Now Anubhavas, Krishna's sidelong glances picture is very nice, and smiling are the sign faces of the Lord are the Anubhavas. So that takes us, I think, next to the Sattvic component. All the Sattvic Bhavas are present in this case. So unlike in Dasha, so something was excluded, but everything is present, and all the Sanchari Bhavas are present. So this is what was discussed, and in addition to that, there are few there are two in a Madhurya Ras, there are two types. One is a Viplamba, that is a separation from the Lord. Another is a Sambho. Basically, in Viplam, there are 3 types. Purva Raga, in which the situation lovers met prior to that. Mana, this is particularly applicable for Radharani. Krishna always used to leave Radharani and go with other Sakhis just to get a more instigate Radharani and the love. That is there. So different ways Radharani and Sakhis or Manjaris, they bring love for Krishna in a different varieties. Then third one, Pravasa, the lover loses association of beloved who's travel near or far away. Prabhuji mentioned that Krishna, going in the morning, and the gopis feeling that separation, and at the same time Krishna also leaves the Vrindavan, goes to Dwarka for 100 years. So there is a difference between those. Next, the last one was Sambhoga. When they are together, this is a confidential, the lovers met and enjoy Bhoga together. More details in Sri Ujjwal Neelamani. Now, the last point, just 1 minute I need here. Prabhuji also explained that secondary bhavas, Hasya, Vismaya, Utsa, Sloka, Raundra, Bhayanak, and Bhivatsa. Then he gave a comparison how contradictory things are there. That brings us to the last portion, which is basically abhasas. There are abhasas. So I'll just go to the abhasas. So 3 gradations of abhasas are mentioned here. One gradation is uparasa. Uparasa is caused by the disfigurement of the sthayi bhava or anubhava, which are the ingredients in any of the 12 rasa. That's 5 primary, secondary. Example gives is Vaman Dev, who accept being a supreme personality of Godhead, he accepts the lower portion of than Indra. So that's one example. Anurasa, the secondary rasa beginning with hasya and which is laughter related to Krishna is called Anurasa. If Veer rasa of chivalry and so approach, where the Krishna, in this is the particularly when Krishna is absent but indirectly referenced, then this rasa is mentioned. And then last rasa, last abhasa, that's aparasa. Perverted rasa, and if Krishna becomes object of enemy's laughter, in this case Jarasanga's example is that Jarasanga was laughing when Krishna left the battlefield. So those are the things. I think we'll be today, Prabhuji will discussing more on the Madhurya rasa. Prabhuji, I'll stop here. There are too many details. So Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Radha Vinod Prabhuji. Nicely done. Welcome back. So let me first share my screen. So this is the latest class schedule I sent to you. This is now the of course it's about the Rasa Tattva, the 4th part, Rasa Tattva. The first part we already done that is lesson 34, 35, 36, 37. And today we are entering to lesson 38. This is a part of the second section, and there are 6 subsections are there. And here this slide is basically showing 39 onwards, 39 to 40. 38 is included in that, but I just updated it to the latest one. So here, what we'll be talking about in the second section is the constituent. What is constituent? That part, component is involved in the structural constituent part of that rasa. So we will talk about those, some personalities involved, their moods, and their, of course, activities that we will be talking about. And then third section is the Sringar Rasa. That is where the 2 subpart, Sambhoga and Vipralamba, that will come into play. But that will touch when we come to it. So let's get into lesson 38. Oh, let me make a full screen. So these are the 4 themes. I came up with that. And again, now that you're well familiar the way I make slides, this particular way of making, this is called fishbone. This particular slide, the way of making it is to, when I want to show you a development, sequential development. So these 4 themes that I came up, they are sequentially dependent on the previous themes, right? So the main part, there are 4 themes we'll be talking about, we'll be hearing about Krishna's Swarupa Lakshana, his primary characteristics as the hero of this Madhura Rasa. He is the hero, and there is no one else, just Krishna. There are many heroines, of course, but the hero is just one, Krishna. So section one, theme one that you see in the upper quadrant, upper left quadrant, Vijay Kumar is asking. Now, of course, Vijay Kumar is asking all the series of questions, number 127 onwards to 155. So Vijay Kumar had a momentary glimpse in the first theme that we'll talk about briefly, what is called Sfurti. This word you heard from me quite a few times now. What is Sfurti? Sfurti, actually the direct meaning according to the dictionary, Sfurti means something that occurs. Sfurti means something occurs momentarily, okay? So here momentary occurrence is basically a visual realization of Krishna's particular pastimes to a devotee. And Krishna shows that just for a few moments only, and then Krishna disappears. So that increases the longing of the devotee for Krishna. That same thing happened to Narad Muni. And Narad Muni's previous birth, where he was a 5-year-old kid, and he was fortunate enough to receive the association and serving the great Bhakti Vedantas who were visiting, and he was helping his mother, the widow mother, who was serving this advanced Bhakti Vedanta sages who stopped for the monsoon season. And part of helping his mother, Narad Muni, this young boy, was also helping and serving these great sages and listening to spiritual discourses. And then also had a chance to honor the Mahaprasada. Prasada means the one which is served, the bhoga served to Krishna, and the remnants become prasada. The literary meaning of prasada means mercy of Krishna. But the first that prasada is tasted by the advanced sages then becomes Mahaprasada. Okay? So that's what Narada Muni got to honor that, and that brings great spiritual benefits. So that is what called at that time, his mother, his only support for a 5-year-old kid, remember, died because of the snake bite. And he was left alone, completely become orphan, but he developed great love, longing for Krishna. So momentarily Sfurti occurred to him that time. Krishna showed himself, at least heard his voice, and then he withdrew that you are not yet ready, something like that. So that is the meaning of Sfurti. So what is in the context, this, now we are talking about Vijay Kumar, okay? Sorry about that. And not Vijay Rajnath, but Vijay Kumar. Questions number 127 to all the way to 155. So Vijay Kumar, remember, continuing from the last lesson, now both of them are actually in Jagannath Puri, Purushottam Kshetra. And that's where Sfurti manifested directly, visual manifestation happened. So we'll just talk about that. So that is what Sfurti, momentary a realization, sometimes visual realization, sometimes oral realization, okay? But here he visually saw Vrindavan, Krishna's Vraja pastimes, conjugal pastimes with the gopis, right in Jagannath Puri, where there is Sundarachala, the mount, the hill, I think Sharad Prabhu might know where it is. Okay, so that is the first theme. The second theme, so that this particular way of showing the second, third, and fourth each follows the previous theme. So the second theme, as you see from the lower left quadrant, it's the minor mirror image, reversal of reality. So when you when you have something and if you see it in the mirror, you look like you are seeing, you feel like that you are seeing the original image, right? But not really. Mirror image is completely reversed. What is left is now seeing the right, turn into right, right is turned into left, up is turned to down, down is turned to up, like that, in a symmetry. So it's a reverse image you see as a mirror image, So here, the image that you see, or even not just seeing, even hearing, about the spiritual world through material vision, materially contaminated vision, conditioned soul, they completely see a completely reversal of the reality of the spiritual world. So that we'll talk about, because that has a direct bearing to the subsequent themes 3 and 4. Unless you understand the second part, and I took great pains to bring it to you, that particular slide I made. 6 hours I spent that slide making, because that is the really the foundational slide. If you understand that, then you will understand themes 3 and 4. Okay. So here in this mirror image, which is the reversal of reality, why Krishna's so this he was responding, the Siksha Guru, Gopal Guru Goswami, who was responding to the question of Vijay Kumar, that why Krishna's conjugal pastimes, Madhurya Rasa, with the gopis appear so much like the affairs of an ordinary men and women in the material world, and we all know Krishna is all spiritual, and so are the gopis. So his intimate conjugal pastimes with the gopis, they look very, very similar to what young boys and young girls experience in this material world, which is really lust, but we are talking about prema, spiritual prema. So why it is like that? So that's where Shiksha Guru gives the example of what is a mirror image. That is the reason I made that slide, to make you understand. Okay, and then if you understand that slide, in a moment I'll explain to you, show you that slide, and you need to really understand that slide. I will try my best to explain to you. So that leads you to the third theme, and that is because Krishna is the reservoir of all transcendental qualities. Why the pastime dependent display? Because we saw in the last lesson, previous lesson, that Krishna displays 4 kinds of hero, right? And they are diametrically kind of opposite kind of personalities. So how could opposite personalities could occur in the same individual? Of course, they are pastime dependent, Of course, in the material plane, material platform, we are familiar. People do have some kind of split personality, especially in the criminal history. We hear, that kind of personality, how they are completely normal beings, but on the reverse side of that personality, they have a criminal mind, actually, like that, But anyway, here we are talking about Krishna. So these 4 kinds of clear contradictory characteristics of his personality, how do we understand that? That is the question he's asking, okay? The fourth and the final theme is here, because of the inconceivable power of Krishna's potency, why Gokula is non-different from Goloka. Remember, Gokula is the exact replica of Golok Vrindavan Dham in the spiritual world, whereas Gokula is right in the earthly realm, but in really it's not material, it's all spiritual. But we must have a spiritual vision, Divya Chakshu, to realize that. Otherwise, to the people who are not spiritually developed, devotionally become qualified, they would see even Vrindavan, Braja, just like any other cities. They won't see that. So here the question is that why don't we see? They are supposed to be exact replica, but why most of us cannot see that? Um, uh, and despite material vision, fail to see it that way. Okay, so all these things that the thing are there, they're based on correct understanding what is this mirror image is there, and how do we see the reality from the mirror image. Mirror image is because of the material vision. Material eyes contaminated through the three modes of material nature, conditioned by the three modes of material nature, and then we try to understand and see spiritual world, then we would not see, because all we would see is the mirror image of the spiritual world. And why spiritual mirror image is not exact reality? It looks like very similar, but we'll see a kind of material component of that vision. We see that. Okay, so let's talk first about the first theme, that's Spurti, and that Vijay Kumar experienced. That I already explained to you in great detail, of course, now. So let's directly dive into this mirror image understanding. So this is what it says: mirror images of the original objects that are asymmetric, that is not shown in the book itself, but that's my observation, okay? Get reversed back to original, but not if they are symmetric, okay? So here, basically what I'm trying to show you using this slide is that Maya is the one that creates mirror image. Under Maya's imprisonment of the spirit soul, we are individual spirit souls, and we are in the material existence. That's why we are being conditioned by the modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, especially the lower modes. Okay, and then we are unable to visualize the spiritual world as it is. What we really see is just the material counterpart, and that is this called mirror image. It's a reversal of that. And I just told you what is left is right, right is left, up is down, down is up, like that. Okay. So mirror image of the spiritual world to the conditioned soul in the material world, but the reversed image can be restored back to the original one if it is if this vision becomes purified by rendering devotional service. And this is a very, very important element of the hypothesis I developed. Raksha Mataji recently uploaded a video of my lecture that I gave in 2016 at the Radha Gopinath temple in Mumbai, Chupati. So you'll hear a series of lectures. I give various cities in India. So my hypothesis is based on this kind of situation, this kind of background, So let's dive into it. So here, see, there are three parts of this slide. The first part, I took it from the internet, just the letters of English alphabet, okay? And so the mirror images of English alphabet, if you see this alphabet, and right in the center that you see this line, is actually imagine that's a mirror. So letter A, you're looking in the mirror. What do you see in the mirror? A exactly look like A is actually, because it is symmetrical. But look, letter B, the mirror image on the right side, right here, looks completely reversed. What is left is right, right is left now. Okay, so the B looks mirror images like that. Again, O being symmetrical looks very similar. But look at E, the reverse image. M is symmetrical, so looks same. Look at letter N, P, all these letters, L, S, they look reversed. But those that are symmetrical, they look same. Of course, there is also reversal is there, but for the symmetry of the letter, you don't detect that reversal. But there is a reversal there too, And I didn't show you the Y and Z. Y and Z also kind of reversed, So the second part, unlike this asymmetric alphabets, the symmetrical alphabet, they look same, but there is a reversal there. But because of the symmetry, you don't see that, Okay, now the third part of this slide is the most important, okay? If you understand that, then you will understand the themes 3 and 4. So here's the example I'm showing you, the reversal of the mirror image back to original. How does it happen? When seen through a second mirror. So here is a word, blonde. That's the best way to show you. I could have shown a picture also, but I showed you by letter only, alphabets. So blonde is seen through an original image. This is the original image, okay? And imagine that's the spiritual vision now, okay? But now look through the mirror, first mirror. That mirror, imagine that's a representation of Maya, okay? The illusory vision, And what happens? You see this reversal of this blonde, the way it looks like right here. It's a mirror image. That's an illusory image created by Maya's influence. That is the material world. And that is the perverted, distorted vision of the spiritual world. But now look at that. This distorted image, reversal of the image. If you show a second mirror, then you'll see back to the original image. The blonde that you see now, exactly what it should be there, as you see in the first part of it. So the second mirror here, that is our devotional service. How our conditional senses, they become purified, and you develop divya chakshu. Then you are able to visualize spiritual world or the description of the spiritual world as it is, then your modes will not be acting on that by gradual purification through devotional service. So back to the original image. So we are regaining the spiritual vision back here again. So now you see the point here. There's this spirituality. You only, as Krishna says, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati, Krishna as he is, you can understand and realize only through devotional service, and that is unalloyed, without any selfish interest. Then you will see that the mirror image, previously it was there in our conditional state. Now we are able to see the spiritual world and Krishna's pastimes. They are all transcendental, that you will see. But the material vision, material hearing, what Krishna's pastime just looks like the lusty relationship between a young boy and a young girl in the material world. That's the reason why Sri Ujjwal Nilamani is not recommended to be discussed with those who are not devotees, those who have not undergone devotional purification. They will not be able to see it. So the second mirror is the devotional mirror that I would say. So by inference, so now you see the difference in symmetry and asymmetry. By lettering, I just showed you the middle figure. Those are the symmetrical alphabets you see as they are. There is a reversal there, but the reversal is being symmetrical. You don't detect it, So by inference, spiritual world is also very likely to be asymmetric. And Krishna is a well-known example. Krishna Bhakya Bihari, he's bent himself in 3 ways, when he plays flute, and he has, legs the way he put it, cross legs, and he speaks also Parokshvada, he never speaks straight. So this is what the asymmetry, what I would say. Okay, so if you understood this slide, what is the mirror image? That's the distorted reversal of the original image. And how do we get back to the reality is the second mirror by devotional service. So if you understood that, then you will understand the next two themes that we'll be talking about now. So here, this is the theme one. We are going to talk a little bit more detail. Again, I'm showing the same fishbone way of showing it, okay? How this Spurti occurred to Vijay Kumara. So again, we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So number 2 follows 1. Number 3 follows 2, like that in a sequential order way. That is the reason he was able to see the Spurti. Spurti means the momentary visualization of Krishna's Vraja pastimes. He actually saw Krishna joking with the gopis in a conjugal way in Jagannath Puri. Okay, and how did that happen? That is what I'm trying to show you here. So number 1, what was his background? What happened? To what level he advanced because of constantly hearing the discourses from his Siksha Guru? Okay, and what did he had already started reading Sri Ujjwal Nilamani. He was devotionally well ahead. Okay, now he was practicing Raga Bhakti. So clearly he had graduated from Vaidya Sadhana Bhakti, both he and Brajanath, of course, but he is the uncle of Brajanath, okay? So he's far more advanced, and he was expert in narrating Srimad Bhagavad Puran, okay? So you have to understand his background. He's far more advanced, not at the level of his Siksha Guru, obviously, but because of his Guru's instruction and his Guru's kripa, mercy, he developed that particular vision. So he had studied the method of worshipping the Lord Krishna in the pure Madhurya Rasa. So Raga Bhakti he was following, okay? He knew the science of it at least. So that is number 1. Number 2, the only pastimes of Krishna that he relished hearing were those of Krishna's conjugal pastimes. So clearly, his very being, his senses of the mind, completely engrossed in hearing and realizing day and night about Krishna's conjugal pastimes with the gopis. And that's what he relished, okay? So this is all the background information I'm telling you, because that has a direct bearing how we saw that momentary realization of Krishna's Vraja past. We actually saw Vraja in Jagannath Puri, where there is Sundarachala. And how do you go to Sundarachala? It's mentioned briefly here. And I try hard to find a map of JaivaDharma. Yeah, I'm sorry, Purushottam Kshetra, and I didn't find, but the 2 cities that is described, that is there, Baragundi and so on like that. Sharad probably quite familiar with that, where Sundarachala is located. So that is point number 2. Now, point number 3, he had been reading Sri Ujjwal Nilamani, okay? But part of it he couldn't understand at that particular time. And that you must give some allowances, okay? That's very, very difficult to really internalize the pastimes of Krishna and the gopis, the way it is so graphically discussed in Sri Ujjwal Nilamani. You really need to be devotionally advanced enough to understand that. So he had been reading that, and he'd been practicing Raga Bhakti, plus his Guru's instructions were there to him. So all these things were positively working behind him. Despite he had some question that he was going to ask his Siksha Guru again. Okay, so that is point number 3. Each follows the previous number. Okay, now moving on to the point number 4. Because all these things that I'm telling you, there were the reasons why he was qualified enough. Krishna showed him the vision of Vraja in Jagannath Puri. Really, Vraja is not there in Jagannath Puri, obviously, but Krishna's pastimes are there. And the fourth point is also important. Okay? So he developed a keen desire to see by himself Shraddhavali and Sundarachala. And Sharad Prabhu will tell us where Shraddhavali is located, in Baragandi or some particular city. That was there in the map that I saw in the internet. So Shraddhavali, and through Shraddhavali, he went to come to Sundarachala. And then point number 5, listen very carefully. He had already heard that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was there in Jagannath Puri during his sannyasa household, sannyasa renounced order of life, Mahaprabhu himself saw Sundarachala. Sundarachala, Chala means that moving. Achala, mountains are not moving, right? So that's called the hills and mountains are called Achala, the Sundarachala, beautiful hill that is there, as the land of Braja. Mahaprabhu himself had witnessed that. So he had read that, and the mental frame, he had that information back on his mind. And that is how he was inspired to experience himself going there. So point number 6, remember, each point is going in a sequential order. This was the background you need to understand why he became qualified, that Krishna showed him that vision. Point number 6. So he crossed this particular city, and that city must have been quite sizable city because it was there in the map of Jagannath Puri. So he crossed Balagandi, and began to proceed towards Shraddhavali. That must be the town. And from Shraddhavali onward, there comes this particular hill, Sundarachala. And now point number 7. Okay, he just came to that place, and he had heard Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was able to witness that. And what did he see there? Finally, Vrindavan appeared right before his vision, right before him, with his forest, the kunjas and all this thing, garden, a bower where Krishna used to have very, very confidential pastime, meeting gopis in the bower, meeting Radharani and so on like that. So in the bower of these different wines, Malathi, Madhavi wines, there he saw Krishna himself joking with the gopis. Okay, all this thing is so, but it was just a momentary vision. That's why, by definition, that's why it's called spurti. His mind becomes stimulating. So that is point number 7. Point number 8, with feelings devoid of awe and reverence. Remember, he's in our Raga platform. He's not on a Vaidhi Bhakti platform. Vaidhi Bhakti platform, we are on the awe and reverence time. We see Krishna as the Supreme Personal Godhead. Here, he already graduated from that platform, going to the Raga platform. So one who is in Raga Bhakti platform is quite far advanced stage. So the feeling devoid of awe and reverence, that completely agitated his mind, Braj Kumara, and ran towards to meet Krishna himself directly, okay? But he couldn't, he fainted, he became unconscious. But the light breeze over there in the forest, he regained his consciousness momentarily, okay? And then everything disappeared from his vision. As he gained his consciousness, point number 9, and that momentary vision of Krishna, Spurti, playing with the gopis in Vraja, actually saw Vraja itself, right there in Sundarachala, and Madhuri Rasa, completely disappeared from his visual field. And he became very, very morose, right? He became, that's what happened to Narad Muni, actually. And he decided he was going to ask to his Siksha Guru about that, but then later changed his mind, actually. So this is the background, okay? And this slide also you need to internalize. At your leisure time, go to the slide. Now we go to the next slide. And here what we are going to see, this is theme number 2. What is the theme number 2? It is the mirror image, reversal of reality, why Krishna's conjugal pastimes, Madhurya Rasa, with the gopis appears so much like the lusty affairs of young boys and girls in the material world. We are unable to see Krishna's transcendental Krishna prema, that kind of interrelationship with the gopis, that we are unable to see because our vision, all our senses, hearing, all these things are materially contaminated, that we cannot see that, and we see a mirror image of it. It's a distorted vision, distorted kind of relationship Krishna has that with gopis. That is the reason that is shown right here. Okay. Again, we'll go through this. Like a point A and B, how it differs from point 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So point A and B, that is what the questioner is asking Raj Kumar. Among the 5 primary rasas, the Madhurya rasa. So first, he is summarizing what he understood up to that point to his Siksha Guru, and then he will ask the question. So he understood perfectly the explanation given by Siksha Guru, all the 5 primary rasas. Among the 5 rasas, Madhurya rasa is undoubtedly the most confidential, possesses all the virtues present in. So Madhurya rasa has the virtues of Shanta rasa, Dasya rasa, Sakhya rasa, and Vatsalya rasa. Okay, and each is in sequential like that. The lowest being Shanta rasa, the highest being Madhurya rasa. So that is the real image, the real information. Okay, but in materially contaminated eyes, materially contaminated our sense in the mind is completely going to see a reverse image. Madhurya rasa is the topmost, right? Highest. But when we are there, we are not at that point, then we see the Madhurya rasa is the worst kind. We see Krishna's relationship with the gopis in Madhurya rasa, conjugal pastimes, as lusty, abominable, and reprehensible. That is that we are told in the material world, that's horrible, that kind of lusty thing, but not for Krishna, because it's all transcendental. There's no a tinge of material lust is involved in that. Although it appears that way when we read Ujjwal Nilamani, it's like that. You know, those who follow the path of Falgu Vairagya, mental speculation, and the fruitive karmas, they're unable to understand Madhurya Rasa. They're disqualified. You know? So that is what he's understanding, that he tells his Siksha Guru. But now he's going to ask series of questions. Question 127 to 130. If Madhurya Rasa is so wonderful, as is explained, as he heard from his Siksha Guru, why is it so much like the mundane, not mundane, mundane affairs of ordinary men and women in the material world? Why is it so? That's the mirror image. That's the reversal of, that's the reason why we are unable to do that. You know, and that was the reason why I prepared the slide number 1 to you, so that you are able to understand that. So what are the features of Krishna when he is in the Vishaya Alambana in Madhurya Rasa? So he is the object of worship. That's Vishaya, right? And for the devotees who take shelter of Krishna, and they get udipanas, they get that their desire to know Krishna is ignited within his heart. So those are the questions he's asking now. Exactly why we don't see it as it is, because we are materially contaminated. We see the mirror image of that originality. So now his Guru is going to exactly explain that the vision in the material. So now his Guru is speaking number 1, 2, 3. Okay. So point number 1, The vision in the material world is only a perverted reflection, distorted vision, just like a tree on the bank of a river. If you see its reflection in the water, river, you see upside down, right? Just like in the description in the Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, Urdhva Moolam, reversal of that. The tree looks like upside down. So vision in the material world is only a perverted reflection, distorted vision of the asymmetric world. The reflection, pratibimba, or its shadow, chaya, of the spiritual rasas is reversed in the material world, just as a mirror image of the reality of an object. Exactly, I showed you that mirror image of the English alphabets. They completely look different, okay? Because when we see in the mirror, we imagine, we take it for granted that what we see our face, that's what we look like. But exactly not really. Really, it's not exactly. The left eye shown on the right side, the right eye shown on the left side. Okay, point number 2. In the spiritual world, the Madhurya Rasa is the purest of all rasas and filled with splendor and condensed sweetness. Sandrananda Visheshatma, right? Sandrananda, that's the condensed bliss. So there, what the real vision is, what ought to be? Shantarasa is the lowest one. Higher than Shantarasa is Dasarasa. Higher than Dasarasa is the Sakyarasa. Higher than Sakyarasa is the Vatsalarasa. And the highest being Madhurya Rasa. But in a distorted vision, mirror image, there Madhurya Rasa is the lowest. The whole order is completely reversed. That is the reverse image in the material world. Shantarasa is greater than Dasarasa. Dasarasa is greater than Sakyarasa. Sakyarasa is Vatsalya, then greater than Madhurya. See that? Complete reversal. So point number 3. Krishna is the only male. So now Shiksha Guru is giving him the spiritual understanding of that. He's telling that the only male is really Krishna. Even many of us who are males, we are not really, we are part of Prakriti. And in English, there's a, and I'm sure in Sanskrit it's also like that. In English, there's the masculine words. In Sanskrit, let's talk about Sanskrit. There's a masculine word, and then there are feminine words. There are in between also neutral words are also there. Neutral gender is also there. You know, so Prakriti, Prakriti means feminine words. So both male and female that we are here, we are part of Prakriti. Prakriti is the energy of the Supreme Lord, and we are there as the marginal energy, and that is to be enjoyed by Krishna. Okay, so that's what it is. Are all female to be enjoyed by him, even though we are male. And we saw one of the classes recently that we came across, right? How we could have externally male, but we could be internally a female when we are advanced enough in the devotional service. So when it comes to Krishna, there is nothing that is impious or immoral, because Krishna is not doing anything immoral. It's everything transcendental. Their interaction with the gopis is completely on a transcendental platform, even though it seems like that way. You know, unlike in the material world, that is why material Madhurya Rasa is so abominable. A conditioned soul cannot participate in such kind of conjugal relationship with someone else's wives. You know, Parakya Rasa is like that. We'll see in the last part. So that's repulsive and embarrassing in the material world, but not for Krishna. So that is what this Guru explained to him. Now we'll see this particular slide. And I'm particularly deliberately going slow, and I am running behind time, but I want you to understand clearly, okay? Now the the themes 2 continuous, Shiksha Guru is now going to explain. The answer is question number 131 to his disciple Raja Kumara. What is the relationship of pure truth and the mixed truth? So actually this question is asking by the Shiksha Guru. And he's saying that I'm going to ask you these 2 questions. And if you are able to answer me correctly, then you will be able to understand yourself, internally yourself, how you answer that. So how does the living entities, so question number 1 is this, 131, what is the relationship of pure truth and a mixed truth? Truth that is not clear, okay? And the second point is asking him to explain living entities' heart become enlightened with pure existence. So what is pure existence and that which is not pure existence, okay? So the answer to question number 131, the question is again, what is the relationship of pure truth versus the mixed truth, relative truth? Absolute truth versus relative truth. So the truth of pure existence. So his disciple, Brajakumara, is the one who is answering that, okay? Because by this time he's quite far enough and his guru really admired that he had a very intelligent disciple. So the truth of pure existence, first of all, existence is a 3-part existence. So let's say neither has beginning nor an ending in the eternal present. So in the spiritual world, there is no past, there is no future. Continuum, eternally, there is a present only. Okay? That you must understand. That's difficult to grasp because we are on the material platform, we are dogmatized the way we are being brought up in the material world. So it's difficult to imagine how could we avoid yesterday, how could we avoid tomorrow, and always imagine that there's today only everywhere. So pure existence manifested by the Lord's pure spiritual potency, and that is Shuddha Chitta Shakti. That is by Lord creates. Okay, and then what is the mixed existence? So first point, mixed existence, the material world of Maya, where there is a past, present, and future. Only a shadow or a reflection of the original Shuddha Chitta Shakti is there in the material world. Third point, the beginning and the end comes from Rajaguna, Tamoguna, and the Rajaguna and Tamoguna, really lower modes. There is, of course, a mode of goodness is there too, Sattva Guna, but there is material mode of goodness. But let's focus on the lower mode, because that's the one is preventing us to come to the spiritual vision. So when the individual spirit soul is affected by Maya's influence of the 3 modes, and then the soul's existence is also mixed with Rajo and Tamoguna. So under the influence of Rajaguna, Tamoguna, whose outer manifestation is Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Moha, Matsara, that is going to prevent us to see a pure mode of goodness, that will come only keep hearing Krishna's pastimes from advanced souls, Sadhu Sangha. Then Krishna himself, as Paramatma sitting in our heart, purifies and places us back in the mode of pure goodness. Then evam prasad manaso bhagavad bhakti prayojita bhagavad takti vijnanam mukta sangasya jayate. Then only will come to understand the science of Krishna. And when science of Krishna becomes known to us, then vidyate hridayantis, chindyate sarva samshaya, kshiyante chastra karmani, trash evatmani ishwari. Then we see ourselves as spiritual beings. So that kind of divya chakshu comes only at that point. And now the answer to question number 132. The disciple is answering, okay? So the question is about, Guru asked him, explain to me what is pure existence versus not, which is not that. So under Maya's imprisonment, the soul does not manifest its original pure existence. That is because of our impersonal regulation, impersonal speculation. Okay. Fruitive activities, jnana and karma. That in order to practice pure bhakti, jnana, karma, adi, etc., must be anavratam. Third point, spiritual knowledge. This is called bhava tattva, vijnanam, science of Krishna, realization, science, all these things like fire. And the fire is going to burn away all that ignorance. The fire of Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam burn to ashes the contamination of materialism. Point number 5. Thus Krishna Kripa, Krishna's mercy is required, and it's flowing through the sadhus. Vaishnava Sadhu Sangha. One then attains the spiritual bliss and pure bhakti platform. Then we get the Divya Chakshu, Divya intelligence. The spiritual intelligence will be developed. The heart becomes effulgent with pure spiritual existence. That is the pure existence. But under the influence of modes, that existence is there, but it's not pure. So now Guru was very pleased, and now he's going to give him some more. So let's take a break. So only through bhakti, only through chanting Hare Krishna, only associating with devotees and hearing Krishna's pastimes, then we make gradual progress. And then we see the real image of spirituality as it is. Otherwise, we always see, all we hear, all we think is just mirror image. And that mirror image can be reversed. You see it back through a second mirror, but that second mirror is of devotion. Then is the distorted image is going to turn back to its reality. Then the correct understanding of spirituality will develop. All of our senses, including the mind, become spiritualized. Jivan Mukta. No more the modes are working.
प्रभु जी, यहाँ पे हम भगवत गीता का 5.29 कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं। भोक्ता राम यज्ञ तपस्या।
बोलिए बोलिए।
भोक्ता राम यज्ञ तपस्या सर्वलोक महेश्वरम सुहृदय सर्वभूतानां ज्ञात्वा वाम शांति मुच्यते।
Wonderful, thank you. Quite appropriate.
So प्रभु जी, सेकंड मिरर से हम इंटरनल जर्नी शुरू कर सकते हैं हमारी।
Really great. You are really great. You really understood what I am trying. Those 6 hours I invested in making that slide, you understood it.
प्रभु जी, आपने ग्रुप में जो डाला था वो मैंने रियल में मेरे घर पे मिरर में किया पूरा सेकंड मिरर से।
देखा ना, वो जो डिस्टॉर्टेड इमेज सेकंड मिरर में देखेगी तो आप वापस ओरिजिनल इमेज दिखाई देगी।
यस प्रभु जी, मैंने कल वो एक्सपेरिमेंट किया था।
Wonderful. I really admire you very much, Raksha Mataji. And you are able to understand because you constantly sing the glories of Krishna. And you think of not yourself, you think of your fellow devotees also, their welfare. That is so great about you. Okay, pardon me, let's go ahead, okay? So this is the, let's see. Okay. So the next slide is this one. This is number 3rd theme now we are talking about, okay? 3rd theme is question number. So now Guru was quite convinced that his disciple has now come to that more mature stage. So now he can give him more advanced knowledge. He's qualified. So now he's asking. Again, he's teaching him through questions, okay, and answering his questions. So now Brajakumar is asking question 133, 134, 135. So questions are this. Because Krishna is the reservoir of all the transcendental qualities and the pastimes dependent display of his four self-opposing kinds of personality, Dhirodatta, all that thing, okay. Prashanta, then finally the worst kind was Dhira Uddata. So these four kind of personality that Krishna displays, and in his countless different pastime dependent display of his particular personality, which are self-contradictory, So that's what Rajkumar is asking about that, okay? Can you explain to me why it is so? So his guru is explaining. In Madhura Rasa, Krishna assumes two roles, that of being both the husband in a Swakiya Rasa, married wives, okay, duly married, okay, Brahmanas, the priest marrying them, the bride's parents are there, all the gurus are there, and there's a fire sacrifice. Fire god, Agni Dev, as a witness, he accepts the duly married wives, okay, the queens of Dwarka. So those are in a Swakiya Rasa. But then there's a Paramar, Parakya Rasa. The gopis are supposedly married to other gopas, and Krishna has a relationship, conjugal relationship with his gopis. But in reality, we all saw in Gopala Champu, of course, we know that, right? They were not really married to other gopas, They were eternally married to Krishna from Goloka, But to evoke this Parakya Rasa, Yogamaya created that illusion in the minds of the gopis that they were married to other gopas, okay? And Krishna himself was also in that kind of illusion put forward, okay, by his own potency, Yogamaya. So that's called Parakya Rasa. So the questions were all about that. What is Swakya Rasa? What is Parakya Rasa? What is its nature? What is characteristic? What are symptoms and so on like that? Okay. So as to how and why Krishna can be a paramour, Parakya, despite being an eternal husband, Swakya, the highly confidential answer is that his role of being a paramour, Parakya, in Madhura Rasa is the best, and that's the overriding dominant for Swakya. So, and that Parakya Rasa, believe it or not, it is the topmost precious jewel, Kaustuba jewel. So, moving on, question number 136. To those devotees who have been sheltered of Madhura Rasa, worship Krishna as their husband, what is the secret that Krishna can be a paramour? So, point number one, if the Supreme is impersonal and without qualities, first of all, there can be no rasas. How you can have a transcendental ecstatic rasa with somebody who is impersonal, someone who is impersonal, has no form, no attributes, no qualities. So right there, the impersonal understanding goes down the dustbin. Okay. So and Veda says Krishna is Raso, he is the personification, he is the embodiment of the rasas correctly. He is the Raso Vaisaha, or he is the reservoir of transcendental rasa. The rasas manifest in his heart and in our heart, devotee's heart. So in Santa Rasa, his power and opulence, that is predominant, as we saw in Kumaras, the awe and reverence, because they worship Lord Narayana. In Vaikuntha, there is the awe and reverences there. But in Dasarasa, which is greater than Santarasa, his position as the supreme master. So he is a servant. The servant and master kind of relationship is there. So there, the image of Krishna being the supreme master, that dominates a servant's mindset. Now moving on to Sakhya Rasa. There, the Sakhya, the devotee friend, think Krishna is equal to him. Okay? Vatsalya, the parents, they are under the impression they are superior to Krishna, but they are taking care of Krishna. Krishna is a baby to them. Okay, and then finally coming to Madhurya Rasa, that are prominent, superior to him in the Vatsalya Rasa, but now in Madhurya Rasa, there is the intimacy, greatest intimacy is there, and that's why it makes it even higher than Vatsalya Rasa. So Parakya Bhav is superior to Swakya Bhav. So Swakya and Parakya are based. So here this third segment is even more important to properly understand Swakya and Parakya. In the sense of Swa means self, Atma, the spirit soul. Our identity is spiritual, right? So here, Swa means those gopi, the queens of Dwarka, they are thinking in that consciousness that Krishna is Swa, is my married husband. But in para means another person. So that's the difference. So Atma and para, that you understand, Swa is Atma, self. Para is somebody else other than himself. So the somebody else's wives. So those two opposites are both manifested in relation to Krishna's respective pastimes. Okay, unlike for the conditioned paramour, so conditioned soul is abominable. Now, no, but it does not apply to Krishna because that kind of thing is not there in Krishna's relationship with that. It's all on the transcendental platform. This Parakya Bhav also. So his Parakya pastime is not at all abominable or reprehensible. They enjoy it, but that is a transcendental enjoyment. Sambhoga, the literary meaning of Sambhoga in the material platform is really sexual intercourse, that's Sambhoga, but not on a transcendental platform. That interrelationship, inter-enjoyment is on a transcendental plane that's beyond the understanding of conditioned souls. We have no conception even. Okay, then there is a series of questions. Distinct characteristics, symptoms of Krishna being the husband and paramour. So when he accepts a girl, so what is Swakya in a real sense? That means Krishna is duly accept a girl hand in marriage, duly marriageable. So those are the queens of Dwarka. So when love becomes everything for him, so now the Parakya. So to Krishna we are talking about, okay? When love becomes everything for him, and when passionately desiring another's wife, he transgresses the rules of religion, then he is a paramour and enjoys the Parakya Rasa, in which two kinds of heroines are there. One kind is the unmarried girls, Kumarikas, that we saw in Gopalachampu. Those who did Katyayani Vrata followed that, wanted to have Krishna as their husband, okay? And then with whom Krishna married them in Gandharva Vivaha, okay? Private marriages, only Krishna and the Gopi were present, that's all. But then there is a wife of another, like Chandravali, Radharani, and so on like that. But that's also, I told you that was created by Yoga Maya, illusory marriage. The other Gopas did not have physical relationship with these Gopis. They did not even have menstrual cycle. Swakya Rasa, when he accepts a wife in marriage, he becomes her husband and protects her, who remains a chaste wife, the queens of Dwarka. But in Parakya Rasa, he becomes the lover of the Vraj Gopis. And the position of those two kinds of beloved in his unmanifested pastime. So then there's a Aprakrita Lila. There's an Apragata Lila and then aprakritila, beyond material world, okay? And that is eternal, ongoing all the time. So that's very, very, so when that question came up, Shiksha Guru said, that's very confidential. The spiritual, and that you are going to understand when time comes proper, okay? The spiritual world is enclosed by a wall of light called Brahma Jyoti, and beyond Brahma Jyoti, that means spiritual material is separated by Viraja river. The other bank of that spiritual world is located. So beyond there is a spiritual sky, Vaikuntha, and where Lord Narayana accepts his three wives, three consort, Lakshmi Devi, Bhu Devi, Mother Earth, and the third is Neela Devi. So in his expansion as Narayana, he's in Swakya relationship in the spiritual world. In the material world, in Dwarka, he has wives. But the question then came up, what about in Goloka? The Dwarka queens, do they exist there? So it said Dwarka queens serve Krishna in Swakya Rasa, even in Goloka. But there is Dwarka there in Goloka also. You know? The Vraja Gopis there serve him according to their own. So, and Vraja Gopis also there in Goloka Vrindavan Dham. And they serve him in their own rasas, Paratya Rasa and so on like that. Now the fourth theme that I'm still working on it, and I'm going to take a pause here and we'll take it up next week. I'm still working on this slide. And the fourth theme is all about the inconceivable power of Krishna's potencies. So why do we don't see Goloka being non-different when with Gokula, this earthly replica of Goloka, that's Vrindavan, Vraja? Why we fail to see these two as non-different? So that fourth thing is all about that. And I'm still working. What happened today, one of my very, very dear devotee, his sister passed away. I used to live in Vrindavan. You know? So I had to go and attend that function in the afternoon. So I could not complete that. And I barely made it in time for this class. Hare Krishna, I'll stop here, and I've already overpassed 15 minutes. I could have done much faster, but I wanted to make you understand, make sure that you understand. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna. Any questions, comments? First, you all understood mirror image. Raksha Mataji clearly understood. And how the river
Hare
image.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for a wonderful class, Prabhuji. I
Thank
try
you very much.
to understand. Still, I will understand more and more, Prabhuji.
And he actually experimented it. How this mirror image can be reversed by looking at another mirror. That another mirror is devotional mirror. Okay.
Slides were very beautiful, Prabhuji. Very lots of thinking went into it. Like you can actually see how much of effort has gone. Thank you so much. So Prabhuji, again, very beautiful class today. In Gopal Tapni Upanishad, we first came to that statement, authoritative statement, Krishna's to Bhagwan Swayam, that quietened all the arguments and contradictions to the towards the supremacy of Lord Krishna, that there are so many multiple gods and all. So that statement only quietened. So now that you today, of course, you've been saying it since quite some time that Lord Krishna is the only male and all others are female. That also quietens all the contradiction and criticism towards Paratya Bhava also.
Yeah. And remember, there's nothing impossible for Krishna. There's by definition, God is one. There's nothing impossible. You know? So, and everything what he does is transcendental platform. You know, we cannot criticize. We criticize on the basis of morality, and everything is a material platform. So we are unable to really understand Krishna's what he's doing and why he's doing. Unless and until we come to the devotional platform, then Krishna does make us understand within our heart. So we have to come to the spiritual platform ourselves. That is the second mirror, then we will understand Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati.
Very nice.
Yeah, thank you, Samanta Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna,
More and more we make advancement on devotional platform, more and more we will try to understand. It's and Krishna deliberately makes it difficult for us to understand, and that is the reason he is really making us work hard on the devotional front. Purposefully is making us hard because of that.
Prabhuji, you can
The harder we work, look at the PowerPoints I make, 6 hours, 8 hours I invest. It's precisely because that explains it. That's the hard work always brings result, positive results. But you need to work very, very hard, extremely hard. The harder you work, the richer dividends you make. Something very easy to get, the reward is meager. It's not worth. Something that you earn after hard work, you appreciate that reward. That reward is substantial. Hare Krishna.
So you can
Hare
actually
Krishna.
make out how hard it is even when you, thinking about it, when we see the male members in the family throughout their life, they are working hard to earn a living for the whole family. So they are always in the thing that we are the head of the family, we are the male members of the family.
Yeah.
Then it would be so difficult to get into this consciousness that Krishna is the only male and rest all are, because females are generally inclined and dependent on the male members of the family. But for the male members who have always been the head and earning and working hard, it is so difficult to get into that mode and accept.
But we saw in the couple classes back, remember, internally and externally. There's an internal form we have, the real form, spiritual form, and that spiritual form we are females. So even those of us who are males externally, our mindset has to be feminine. Then only we understand. Radharani understood Krishna that no one can able to understand. No one is able to understand Krishna as Radha understands. When Krishna himself, he says, I am unable to know myself. Only through Radha's vision, Radha's mind, he became very, very, motivated. That's why he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna himself came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of Srimati Radharani, and that's how he understood. Sri Radha Tattva course was all about that. So we are so fortunate. We are in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his teachings through his confidential associate, the 6 personalities of Vrindavan. And of course, his confidential associate, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and so on like that. That's how, Sarup Damodar, that's the Rasa Tattva is from him. Sarup Damodar Goswami, Ramananda Rai, such advanced souls. And their realizations, those are our acharyas. So we are so fortunate. So if not in this lifetime, maybe subsequent lifetimes, but hopefully right here we try our best, make as much progress as possible, put as much money in our spiritual bank, and that keep accumulating life after life after life as a devotee until we fully become qualified to not only go back to spiritual world, but even come back to material world, but not because of karmas, but because as a part of entourage of Krishna. That is our topmost dividend. Hare Krishna. So everyone should say that within themselves, I don't want to come back as a conditioned soul in the material world, but I am willing to come back. I'm aiming to come back as part of Krishna's entourage. That is the highest goal. Hare Krishna. Any other points, question before I turn it over to Sharad Prabhuji?
Yeah, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So nice class. Need to go through the slides again. So many things are there, but as Mother explained, so I think it's more and more getting. What I strikes nicely here is that Maya turns perverted, but devotional service restored back. And this is a vision. With studying the scripture and all that, we get back to from that perverted image because that we see. You go back and try to at least visualize what could be there to our senses, to our ability.
Benji, excuse me, Benji, आपका microphone on है.
जी भाई जी.
आपका microphone on है. Oh, somebody else is speaking. I'm unable to hear him. You'll get your chance to. Yeah, Radhavinath Prabhu, go ahead, continue.
No, so I just mentioned, Prabhuji, what I like most that always we hear the Maya makes, understanding perverted. That's what we have understanding. Maya makes everything perverted, image of the transcendental. But you showed the second image picture wise very nicely. The devotional service restores back again. So even the perverted image that we see in the material world, but with the Jnana Chakshu of we many words are used with eyes, with Anjan and all those things. We can with the understanding, with the knowledge, with the devotees, with acharyas, devotees, we can kind of try to understand what Krishna is there, what spiritual. That glimpse we can. It's possible because again the second reflection back taking us to. Very good presentation, Prabhuji. And this was, I never thought on that. We understood that the scriptures can give that knowledge back. But the way you put it, so strikingly nice, Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you. Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, Benji, it's your turn now.
Today's class is very interesting, Bhaiji. Today's class is very interesting.
Thank you, Benji. Yeah.
I was to say something then, but मुझे अब समझ नहीं आ रहा कि मैं
कहिए जो भी मन में आपके जो मन में है कहिए. आप you are among the friends now, intimate friends.
Yeah. आज का क्लास बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग लगा. आई डोंट नो आज का क्यों ज्यादा इतना लगा, बट बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग लगा.
देखिए आप मन से लगा.
Thank you, Bhaiji. You explained very nicely. Very nice. You always explain very nicely, but आज और भी ज्यादा अच्छा लगा है क्लास. But I have no question to now.
Thank you.
I will go through it and I will try to.
Okay. Raksha Mataji, you want to say something?
Yes, Prabhuji. Because आज का क्लास इतना अच्छा क्यों लगा, क्योंकि आज आपका पेस एकदम स्लो था. तो वो बहुत ही स्टेप बाय स्टेप और जो मिरर इमेज का जो समझाया था प्रभुजी, वो इतना मगज में अच्छे से गया है. तो अभी बस हमेशा परमानेंट रहे ऐसा हम भगवान से प्रार्थना करते हैं. क्योंकि बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट.
ये आप लोग की सबकी कृपा दृष्टि है. हाँ, शरद प्रभु, लेट मी टर्न ओवर टू शरद प्रभु जी. शरद प्रभु जी,
एक क्वेश्चन भाई जी.
हाँ जी, बोलिए.
हाँ, ये जो आज जैसे इसका मिरर का इमेज बताया गया, वो जस्ट लाइक जो ट्री है, जो ट्री जिसकी ब्रांचेस, आई फॉरगेट द नेम, नीचे को आती हैं पूरा. इट इज जस्ट लाइक दैट वन, लुक्स लाइक दैट.
या वो 15th चैप्टर भगवत गीता में बताया गया है ना, ये अपसाइड डाउन मूलम, वो अपसाइड डाउन ट्री दैट यू सी ऑन द
मूलम. हाँ जी.
वो एग्जैक्टली ऐसा ही है.
हाँ.
Up, down looks up, left looks like right, right looks like left.
Right,
That's-
right. बिल्कुल just
Yeah.
mirror में बिल्कुल just ऐसा
And
image
when we
आता है.
see in the mirror, we don't imagine. We think that we are seeing exactly original, right? We don't never think
Yes.
about it. आपने ये
Yes,
कभी
yes.
देखा video of a moving car? The car is moving forward, but if you look at the wheels turn in the opposite direction.
Yes.
Video images
Yes.
also like that.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
और
bhai. Thank you, bhai.
आप कुछ और कुछ कहना चाहती है? आप कुछ और कुछ कहना चाहती है?
नहीं, thank you, bhai ji. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
बहुत
Thank you.
शुक्रिया, बहुत शुक्रिया आपका. शरद प्रभु जी.
Hare Krishna Chandra.
Oh, Harsha, तारा पूछो जी क्या बोल please.
Yeah. I messaged you today. I didn't receive that 38 lesson. I just I understood you did not send, na? That
No, the latest PowerPoint I have not sent because I am still working on it. So tomorrow
because
I
I
will send
didn't
it.
get the. Okay.
Yeah, I did
Because I
not
didn't
send
get-
it. I was still working. The last slide I
Yeah,
am still
that's-
working.
Yeah,
Thank you.
wonderful. That mirror image was wonderful explanation from you. Very wonderful.
Thank you. तो पहला समझे ना पहला reversal of the back to
Yeah.
original. the
I know.
second mirror.
I understand.
Understood,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Sharad Prabhu ji, last 10 minutes.
Thank you very much.
Not even 10 minutes, just 2 minutes. But you can take extra 5 minutes.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Sharad Prabhu ji, आपके लिए, I have a special question for you. Can you explain where is Sundarachala?
Yes. That I will do. Like today, we heard 3 terms, the names of 3 places in Jagannath Puri. One is Saradha Bali, one is Balagandi, and this third is Sundaranchal. Now, Saradha Bali is where the Gundicha temple is there, and Saradha Bali means the sand. Actually, in earlier times, there used to be sand there, but now it is not there. And Balagandi, that is almost in between the Jagannath temple, the Purva Dwara, that is the east gate, and the Gundicha temple. And Sundaranjala, I will just quote from the Chaitanya Charitamrita and explain where it is. Now, that area is actually known as the Jagannath Vallabha Garden. It is also explained by Kaviraj Goswami.
Isn't Sundarachala, it's a hill actually? I thought Achala means hill.
Sundarachala, actually that complete area, I'll just tell you what
Okay.
what Kaviraj Goswami says. Actually, this Jagannath Vallabha Garden is situated on the southern part of the Narendra Sarovara, and it is very old. This was also during the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and this large garden is full of coconut trees. The ponds are there, and it is very dear to Lord Jagannatha because it grows a variety of flowers and fruits that are engaged in his service. And during the after the Snana Purnima, before the Snana Purnima, the Jagannath's Utsava Murti, the festival deity, is also brought here on numerous auspicious occasions for him to relish the various festivities which are conducted there. Now, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami mentions in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Sri Jagannath Vallabha garden was adorned with fully blossomed trees and creepers, just like those in Vrindavana. And the bumblebees and the birds, various types of birds, they are found there in that garden. And in that garden, during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, all the 6 seasons, especially the spring season, appeared to be present in that throughout the year. And the beauty and the enhancement of enchantment of the garden, it always delighted Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And visiting this garden on one full moon night in the month of Vaisakha, that is in the month of April, May, Lord Chaitanya made his associates sing the verse from Gita Govinda, starting with Lalita Lavangalata, and he danced in the garden. And while wandering, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu suddenly saw Krishna underneath an Asoka tree. And as soon as Lord Chaitanya saw, he ran toward him, and Krishna smiled at him and he disappeared from his sight. And having found and lost Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, he became totally disheartened and he fell unconscious. And the whole place was filled with Krishna's fragrance, which further maddened Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who wanted to relish that rasa. And in a fit of ecstasy, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recited the verse which was once spoken by Srimati Radharani, how she hankers for the transcendental scent of the Krishna's body. So all these pastimes that took place in this place, and that area is known as Sundarachala, and so Sundarachala means it is akin to Vrindavan only. But what was there during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time 500 years back, this is not existing now. This is much deteriorated nowadays. All the things are not there, but the relics are still there. That's all, Prabhuji. The time is up.
Thank you. Devotees, many of you may or may not know, Sharat Prabhuji is the resident of Bhubaneswar, right in around Jagannath Puri. What is the distance between Bhubaneswar and Jagannath temple?
60 kilometers.
I see, okay.
60 kilometers, and it comes in the Purushottam Khetra.
Okay, all right. And Bhubaneswar is the capital of
Odisha. Yes, Prabhuji. And this is their head also.
Okay, thank you. So, Sharat Prabhuji, not Sharat Prabhuji, Sagar Prabhuji, if I may, a little bit over the time, could I request you to conclude the class with Nrsimha prayer, please?
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obsession. All go to Srila Prabhupada. Namaste Narasimhai. Namaste Narasimhai. Praladaladaine. Praladaladaine. Hiranyakashi Purvakshar. Hiranyakashi Purvakshar. Shilatankar Nathale, Shilatankar Nathale. Ito Narsingha, Parato Narsingha, Ito Narsingha, Parato Narsingha. Ite Yami, Ito Narsingha, Ite Yami, Ito Narsingha. By Narsingha, Hriday Narsingha. By Narsingha, Hriday Narsingha. Narasimhamadin Sharanam Prapade Narasimhamadin Sharanam Prapade Tavakala Kamala Bhare Nakhadhuta Singham Dalita Hiranyakasipu Tanubringam Kesavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Tavakala Kamala Bhare Nakhadhuta Singham Dalita Hiranyakasipur Tanubringam Kesavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare नरसिंह भगवान की जय, भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, चारू प्रभु की जय, शरद प्रभु की जय, गुरुदेव की जय, all assembled devotee की जय। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण चारू प्रभु, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Dhanavad Pranam Prabhuji. Thank you, Sagar Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. All glory to Srimad Bhagavatam. All glory to the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. All glory to all the Vaishnavas, Guru and Gauranga. Hare Krishna. So we will meet next week, and I'm going to try to send you the slides for this lesson 38, either tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Okay, Hari Bol. Sarath Prabhuji, we are going to have a meeting with our team, but I'm not sure all the members are there. This Sanjay Prabhu, I'm not sure he's there. And mainly I was hoping to hear from him. Then Nityasakhi Mataji, Rajiv Prabhuji, Satyadevata Prabhuji, all are, I don't see them here.
Rajiv Prabhuji is not there. Satyadevata Prabhuji is not there.
I'm there, Prabhuji. Very good.
Yeah, so I'm Sanjay Prabhu is there?
Sanjay Prabhuji is not there. Just I'll bring him up.
No, wait. If he's not, then we'll have a meeting next week then, But I thought he was going to provide us some update from his talk with the publishers,
I'll just bring him up. Prabhuji, are you coming back for the meeting? Okay. Prabhuji, he is not available.
So then maybe next week, okay? Then let's postpone.
Okay, Prabhuji. Then next weekend.
Yeah, can you send a short WhatsApp message to our teammates?
I'll do that.
All right. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Bhai Charubai. Hare Krishna, Sir Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam. Hare Krishna to all devotees. Dandavat pranam.
Thank you. Prasad Prabhu, thank you. I didn't hear from you, Prasad Prabhu. Or maybe I didn't give you a chance. Sorry, Prasad Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu, nothing like that Prabhu.
I didn't give you a
Everyone
chance.
is speaking, so I was just on mute Prabhu, just listening everyone. That's all.
Okay.
Very
right.
wonderful class Prabhu, thank you very much. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Next week then. Hari Bol.
Yeah, I will wait for the slides Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Hari Bol.
Thank you. Hari.
See you, Sharad Prabhuji. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.